Good evening, and thank you all for joining the Annual Memorial Vigil for people experiencing homelessness. I am Britta Fisher, and I am the President and CEO of the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless. For 34 years now, we have gathered to honor those who died in the previous year. We do this here in Denver on the first day of winter, just as hundreds of communities across the country do. In 1990, our national partners, the National Coalition for the Homeless and the National Healthcare for the Homeless Council, commemorated December 21st, the longest night of the year, as the first Homeless Persons Memorial Day to remember and honor those who died during the year. 34 years later, we have seen the epidemic of homelessness grow to a devastating degree, with more and more people living and dying without housing. It is our humble duty and honor to hold this event as a service for the at least 311 people who died in the Denver metro area this year. People who lived among us and whose lives were taken much too soon. Unfortunately, this is the most deaths we have seen in any year we have held this memorial. For many of those who've passed away this year, this memorial will be their only service. All too often, our unhoused neighbors who pass away while experiencing homelessness are not able to have services held in their honor. For nearly 40 years, the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless has worked on lasting solutions to homelessness, and I am joined here on these steps with representatives of organizations who are partners in our community's response to homelessness, along with many of you gathered here. And we know what works. Available and affordable housing, accessible and affordable health care, just systems of immigration, and deep policy changes that dismantle racist and unjust systems, and also respect the humanity of every single individual. We work each and every day on these solutions, as do so many of you in your personal and professional lives. While we can and must consider all that can be done to change Denver for our neighbors, tonight is dedicated to remembering those who passed away in the past year. Each of the 311 names we will read today was a unique person who was part of our Denver community. They were loved by friends and family. They had hopes for their life that were cut short. This year and future dreams that will never be fulfilled. Local service providers, partners, and community members come together to create this list, which we know may be imperfect. The list is compiled with coordination from the Office of the Medical Examiner here in Denver and through collection of names with our partner agencies. While most community members we remember tonight have passed away while in a current experience of homelessness, we also remember lives cut shorter by the trauma and the physical toll of homelessness on those who may have been housed more recently. We do our best to gather as many names as possible, and we know that many are missing. We are deeply sorry if your loved one was not on our list, and there will be time at the end to add any missing names. I also would like to mention that there is one name that was thankfully removed from the list, but was erroneously appearing in your printed program. That name will not be read this evening. Before we begin with the eulogy and the name reading, I would like to take a moment to thank you all for coming, for participating, and for honoring the souls that we have lost. We want to say thank you to our unhoused neighbors who support one another through experiences of homelessness and who mourn deeply tonight. We want to say thank you to our musician, Jose Gutierrez, for sharing his gift before and after the memorial. To the ASL interpreters for ensuring this remembrance is more accessible, and to the City and County of Denver for hosting us and providing logistical support, as well as our Denver community media for live streaming the event for those unable to attend this event in person. So thank you to all of the nonprofits, agencies, and institutions you can see listed in your program that assist us in putting on this vigil and gathering each and every name. And thank you to the people who work and volunteer at our community organizations and choose to do this hard and worthy work. Here and now, in this service, we will honor those we knew and loved, and those who we didn't have the honor to know. And tomorrow, the day will be a bit longer and the night a bit shorter. Tomorrow, we will continue to act with care and compassion while pursuing a more just world. Thank you for joining us as a humanizing force this evening and in the days ahead. I would now like to introduce Randall Loeb, a staunch advocate for the human rights of people experiencing homelessness and a quite lovely poet. Randall.
One addition. We have a memorial garden, and we have in it, across from the Stout Street Health Center in the original one, that this garden is dedicated to those who lived and who died in the streets. I encourage you to go and visit this site, which is a sacred one to most of us who have experienced homelessness. Our debt paid in full. Lonely are the lives of those who endure suffering, for they prevail until they're done without sustenance from anyone. Their perspective is one of want and desperation that somehow they'll overcome the adversity that they've been given as a life sentence. Our gift is that we're born and have this chance to make good in the world by leaving this earth better off for our presence. The reality is grim when you've never seen anything nor felt anything except being a nuisance, a burden, a mistake, a joke, a rude awakening. You're left wondering whether you belong anywhere, or whether if you'd be better off dead, or that your mother never gave birth. There is no solitary place that allows you to heal enough to rise and walk upright with your eyes opened to the glory of being included, to be welcomed and honored. For this, your life is forfeited long before the end comes and you succumb. Your life flickers in a shadow that is breathless, listless, and forlorn. Worn out from the tatters of scars and lifelong barbs, the spirit seeps out and dissipates in the cold, hoary air. We must all say goodbyes one day as life is done, and we are called to remember that these lives are honored even though many in their time were undernourished, struggling, and suffocating from lack of breath. Never forget that all of us belong here from the first to bitter dawn.
Thank you, Randall. That was beautiful. We will now begin the name reading part. Each and every name will be read aloud by a representative from one of the many organizations in the area that serve people experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness. After each name is read, please join us in saying, "We will remember." Tonight's readers include Lana Dalton, City and County of Denver, Department of Housing Stability; Angel Hurtado, Volunteers of America; Jim Boberschmidt, St. Francis Center; Brother James Patrick, or J.P. Hall, Rocky Mountain Refuge; Emily Wieland, the Dolores Project; Kyle Fischler, Catholic Charities; and Christina Carlson of Urban Peak. With that, Lana, I'll hand it to you.
Ashley Adcock, remember. Seamus Alford, we will remember. Thomas Allen, we will remember. Juan Alzafran Saria, we will remember. Scott Ammond, we will remember. Vaughn Anderson, we will remember. Steve Arson, we will remember. Arthur Art Ortiz, we will remember. Chantel Ashmore, we will remember. Brian Augustine, we will remember. Eugene Avis, we will remember. Lauren Ays, we will remember. David Azar, we will remember. Sheikh Kenny Bakwan, we will remember. Leonard Lenny Valerio, we will remember. Kenneth Becker, we will remember. Bonnie Berkheimer, we will remember. Eugene Bernard Kirby, we will remember. Trevor Betke, we will remember. Ramsey Blackwater, we will remember. Greg Bluestein, we will remember. Patrick Valerio, we will remember. Sherman Boxer, we will remember. Larry Boyd, we will remember. Christian Brackens, we will remember. Tyrus Bracey, we will remember. Claudia Brave, we will remember. David Broadway, we will remember. Dwayne Brown, we will remember. Keith Brown, we will remember. Pamela Brown, we will remember. Victoria Brown, we will remember. Denise Bruce, we will remember. Gerald Burbach, we will remember. Timothy Byrne, we will remember. Jonathan Campbell, we will remember. Michael Capelli, we will remember. Melissa Carbajal, we will remember. James Carlson, we will remember. Eugene Carmona, we will remember. Geneva Carter, we will remember. Jonathan Chapman, we will remember. Angelica Chase Alone, we will remember. Alicia Chase Alone, we will remember. Eric Chavez, we will remember.
Fred Chavez,
we will remember.
Melindy Chavez,
We will remember.
Dawn Christine Devine,
We will remember.
James Clark,
We will remember.
Micah Clark,
We will remember.
William Klinkenberg,
We will remember.
Stanley Cockrell,
We will remember.
Cody,
We will remember.
Daniel Coleman,
We will remember.
Lionel Colnell,
We will remember.
Tatiana Cooper,
We will remember.
Albert Cordero,
We will remember.
Jesse Cotrill,
We will remember.
Richard Cox,
We will remember.
Della Creek,
We will remember.
Tony Croce,
We will remember.
David Michael Crompton,
We will remember.
Ryan Cullen,
We will remember.
Devin Davis,
We will remember.
Alan Dawkins,
We will remember.
Miguel Del Valle,
We will remember.
Mark DeMartine,
We will remember.
James Dobson,
We will remember.
Miles Dolan,
We will remember.
Selena Dominguez,
We will remember.
Drew,
We will remember.
David Duncan,
We will remember.
Gregory Dupree,
We will remember.
April Duran,
We will remember.
Stephen Duran,
We will remember.
Jesse Eagle Elk,
We will remember.
Joseph Elizalde. John Ellis. Jesus Escamilla. Adam Fadden Ratchet. Harry Ferguson. Michael Fitzgerald. Quidman Flemings. Michael Flores. William Flores. Sharon Fowler. Ronald Fox. Angelo Frere, Jr. Neil Friday.
Jesse Fiola. Adrian Gagne. Tommy Garber. Patricia Ann Garcia. Tanya Garcia Jackson. Danielle Garvin. Michael Gauss. Todd Gibbs. Wendell Gibbs. Sherry Goddard. Ray Gonzalez. Robert Gonzalez. Hector Gonzalez Estrada. Dustin Greenwell. Derek Greer. Frederick Greer. Leanne Grubbs. Bo Gutierrez. Mark Haglin. Meredith Hallgren Helms. Michael Hanna. Jethro Harris. Doyle Haston. Deborah Hatchett. Michael Hayden. Sean Henderson. Danielle Henderson. Gabrielle Hernandez. Giovanni Hernandez. Jorge Arrea. Diana Hesse. Scott Hewitt. Bradley Hoffman. William Billy Hollenbeck. Latasha Holt. Zachary Hopkins. John William Hall. Adam Hurst. Jeremy Hutchison. James Hutchinson. Teresa Ingram. Inaji Eisen. Sandra Jackson Robinson. Mary Heron. Anthony Jones.
Carly Jones.
We will remember.
Christopher Jones.
We will remember.
Dwayne Jones.
We will remember.
Jacqueline Withers Jones.
We will remember.
Kathy Jones. Edward Kane. Kathleen Keegan. Kyle Kelly. David Kenner. Joy Kimborough. Elijah Knight. Charlene Lalander. Timothy Lamb. Patrick Lane. Timothy Larney. Curtis Laro. David Lawless. Willie Lay. Leo Lehoten. Michael Lentz. Robert Lester. Frederick Lewis. Manuel Lopez. Alberto Lopez Munoz. Julio Macias. Christina Mackey. John Madrill. Eric Maliki. Kenneth Manchego. Michael Markey. David Michael Martin. Maria Martinez. Marvin. Melanie Massey. Michael Maisie. Patrick Turbo McLean. Booker McLeod Jr. Courtney McClure. Mark McGinn. Sherry McMullen. Antoinette Honey Medina. Mary Medina. Jay Merrill.
Jesus Mila. Arthur Miller. Ron Miller. Ronnie Miller. Jason Monk. Alfred Montanazes. Trena Mora Baltazar. Eric Moreno. Agnes Marie Morris. Kaylin Most. John Mueller. Kevin Murphy. Michael Murray. Roger Never Miss a Shot. David Newbins. John Newman. Chiana Newton. Roland Nixon. Robert Odoricio. Melissa O'Hare. Joseph Olivas. Crystal Olko. Stephen Olson. Clarissa Ortega. Franklin Ortiz. Boris Odalich. Glory Overby. Sheila Parker. Anthony Picaro. Willie Pepper. Alex Pepin. Daniel Perez. Michael Phillips, Richard Pearson, Harmony Polk, Fred Porter, Robert Dean Prizer, Vicky Pulis, Gary Ratke, R. Rahim Rashid, Becky Ray, George Daniel Reed, Paul Robertano, Randy Reed, Charla Reeves.
Richard Reichert, Paul Reed, Aaron Rensler, Donald Revere, Christopher Richardson, David Reitzel, Julia Ann Roberts, Livia Rubles Benuelos, Nicole Rodriguez, Andrew Romero, Desiree Romero, Dorothy Romero, Tammy Raleigh, Robert Ruggiero, Frank Runningshield, Marcelo Salado, Emmanuel Sana, Alhamba Sandoval, John Santner, Luca Shorn, Tracy Sellers, Shay, Debbie Shaver, Christopher Sheridan, Mark Irish Shoemate, Jerry Simmons, Walter Simpson, Angel Slaughter, Jeremiah Smith Bell, Jesse James Smith II, Lily Smith, Manuela Snyder Craig, Bruce Lee Summerfield, Effie Spotted War Bonnet, Derek Springs, Regina Starman, Richard Steinmetz, Antoinette Summers, Philip Swanson, T3, Daniel Tafoya, Antoinette Tosco, Robert Taylor, Zet Taylor, Theodore Thiessen.
Terrence Thomas. Michael Thompson. Tony Thompson. Brittany Thurman. Jose Torres. Robert Torquay. Santi Valenzuela. Terry Vanderhoof. Arturo Veneses. Jacob Vavrick. Franklin Paco Vega. Robert Venters. Alice Vigil. Ignacio Vigil. Jeanette Vigil. Tammy Vincelli. Christopher Irish Verdon. Zeta Vivo. Romaine Waddy. Xavier Wake. Stephen Walbridge. Michael Walker. Seth Walker. Jimmy Warner. Tim Warren. Donald Waterbury. Kenneth Watkins Jr. Mario Watts. Silas Watts. Victor Wells Jr. Gary Scott West. Bill White. Jeffrey White. Randall White. Chad Weinard. Lauren Willis. Anthony Wright. Larry Young. Nicholas Young. Julia Zavala. Tim Zucker. Anthony Zimmerman. Kevin Blue Underwood. At this time, I would like to invite anyone to add an additional name so that we can remember them as well tonight. Did you have an additional name? Do you want to read them? Yeah.
John Purdy,
We will remember.
John Duran,
We will remember.
Denise Revere.
We will remember.
Thank you.
David Montoya.
We will remember. We will remember.
Manuel Hatchet, Oglala Lakota Sioux Tribe.
We will remember. We will remember. We will remember.
Christopher Blue Molina.
We will remember. We will remember. We will remember.
Constance Martinez.
We will remember. 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 We really appreciate all of you coming out tonight to help memorialize these individuals. We come together tonight to be sure that each person will not be forgotten, that we carry them with us in our hearts and in our lives. This event will continue until 7 p.m. so that you have time to recognize each individual's luminary. For anyone that is in need of hats, gloves, scarves, please take what you need from the winter wear donation on the table. We really are grateful for all of you to join us tonight as we take this time to honor those that we have lost. Now we will have one final song from Jose Gutierrez on guitar.